Hello, good morning. Today I'd like to discuss about interpreters and aspiring interpreting students and if their attire may influence their line of work. A year back, I used to be in a college course which also had interpreting major students. And I had noticed that these group of aspiring interpreters were different than the interpreters I had seen in high school. In high school, interpreters were very modest with their attire, but this new group of aspiring interpreters, style varies. For example, I have seen many with tattoos, maybe tattoos on their neck, wrist, full arm, sleeve of tattoos. Beforehand, in my experience, interpreters wore long sleeves, so I never saw tattoos on their arms. But also, deaf people themselves who are in a professional line of work have tattoos. My brother actually works in a professional setting and he has a whole sleeve of tattoos. And he was the first person I had known with tattoos on the arm like that. Another aspect of appearance with interpreting is hair. For example, it used to be absolutely unacceptable for a person to wear a mohawk, but nowadays it's considered cool. And I've seen people with various types of mohawks, such as faux hawks, Liberty spike hawks, and it's cool. Another aspect would be body or facial piercings. Before, never saw an interpreter with facial piercings, but nowadays it's considered a form of style. It's considered stylish. So should there be kind of a break? Should interpreters get a break on being the ability to wear tattoos? I mean, I've seen many with interpreter's error. Should it be acceptable? Should interpreters be given a break to wear facial piercings? Sometimes you have to take into consideration that perhaps a tongue piercing could be a little distracting, or stretched ear gauges could be problematic, especially for the ear gauges. If an interpreter could get their fingers stuck in their ear, it may be better to wear a full fit gauge so that can't happen. But it's just interesting to see how the form of fashion and what is acceptable has changed within the interpreting career. Before, it was required for interpreters to wear a nice suit and tie, and for hair to be proper and slick to the side, and for women to wear skirts and a blouse with long sleeves and to show their professionalism. And now, today, though, I've seen people wear shorts, casual pants, and particularly depending on the setting, if the interpreter is sitting in the back just voicing or something like that, their form of dress may be acceptable to be more casual comparatively to another setting. And also, it's necessary to be considerate of other people in which you interact with. For example, for students at school, it may be distracting for someone to have really flashy facial piercings. So it's just important for aspiring interpreters to realize now that their appearance and their behavior regardless if they're in the professional setting or out of the professional setting, they're on work or off work, professional or not. It's just important that people will remember you by your looks and by your appearance. You know, for example, oh, who is so-and-so? And they may describe you by your looks. Or I remember her by her hair color or something like that. And of course, your appearance does not always express your true personality and the person of who you are. It's more of a facade. But it's also important to think that for some consumers or for some people, your attire may not fit for a particular setting. So if it's in a very professional meeting, perhaps wearing piercings on your face and stuff like that may not fit for that type of setting. So I'm not indicating whether it's wrong or right. It's just something to think about and think about your appearance. Also, another thing that is relevant to this discussion is neckline of women's shirts. If it's low and it can show some cleavage. Before, that was absolutely unacceptable. Also, with short skirts that show and expose your legs, and midriff shirts that show your midriff and your hip bones. Allowing that to be visible as an interpreter, perhaps in certain situations that would be acceptable. Maybe a party on the beach. You're interpreting in that kind of setting, maybe that would be okay. But it's just something to keep in mind. And overall, in general, the interpreting profession in general, that may or may not be tolerable, but who knows?